Red Bull came out swinging in the first race of the season. They absolutely dominated, taking home first and second place in the podium while leaving the competition in the dust. But hold up, is it really going to be smooth sailing for them all season long? Some folks seem to think so, but other experts have a different take. They're saying that Red Bull's early lead could disappear faster than a popsicle in the sun. It's only been one race after all. Anything could happen from here on out. Red Bull is feeling the heat already. They're worried that their lead in Formula 1 might melt away. The reason? Well, they got slapped with a 10% reduction in aero development time and a massive $7 million fine after breaking the cost cap to help Max Verstappen clinch last year's driver's title. Now, Red Bull is trying to downplay the impact of the penalty on its RB19 development so far, but it knows the road ahead won't be easy. In fact, their motorsport advisor, Marko, is straight up admitting that their rivals will catch up as the season progresses. Why? Because while Red Bull is held back by the penalty, their competitors have more room to develop and improve their cars. It's going to be a bumpy ride for Red Bull, that's for sure. But Red Bull's not ready to throw in the towel just yet. They're trying to play it cool and pretend like the penalties aren't that big of a deal. Let's face it, they know deep down that it's going to be tough. Marko was quick to shut down rumors that their difficulties were due to having to raise the ride height to fix problems with their plank rubbing. That's not it. According to him, they had a super balanced car during testing, but suddenly experienced relatively strong understeer on Friday. And let me tell you, that's not something Max Verstappen likes at all. Turns out, other teams were also experiencing similar issues. Marko thinks that it could have been caused by the sand, temperature, or some other unknown factor. Fear not, Red Bull didn't give up. They worked hard and eventually found the right setup for Max to take pole position and win the race. Jenson Button, former F1 champ turned Sky TV pundit, is shaking things up in the world of motorsport with his hot take on the 2023 Formula 1 season. Despite Red Bull and Max Verstappen's dominating win in Bahrain, Button is saying it's not going to be a cakewalk for them after all. Why, you ask? Well, according to Button, Bahrain was just one sample venue, and the balance of power could shift at other circuits throughout the season. He's keeping an open mind and not jumping to any conclusions just yet. Button isn't taking away from the excitement of the season opener. In fact, he's calling it a great race to watch. And let's not forget about that pretty special battle between former champs Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton. Talk about a highlight. Sure, Max made it look easy, but Button isn't impressed. He thinks there's more to come and that the road ahead won't be smooth sailing for Red Bull. It's game on, people. I love the action. There was so much action. To see the multiple world champions going at it, Lewis and Fernando, it was pretty special. Button is throwing some serious shade at those who think that Max Verstappen and Red Bull have got the 2023 F1 season in the bag after their easy win in Bahrain. The former champ and Sky TV pundit is warning that we can't jump to conclusions based on just one race at one track. Bahrain is not your run-of-the-mill circuit after all. It's a unique beast that doesn't necessarily reflect the demands of other tracks. Button is adamant that we need to wait and see how things play out at the upcoming Saudi race, which is known for its fast-flowing layout, and at the European races to get a better idea of the pecking order. He's not buying into the idea that Red Bull and Verstappen have a smooth ride ahead. He predicts that we're in for some epic battles and nail-biting moments that could throw a wrench in Red Bull's plans. But despite his skepticism, Button is all about the action and the thrill of the race. He loved the first race in Bahrain, especially the battle between Alonso and Hamilton, which he calls very special. And who knows, maybe Button will be proven wrong and Red Bull will indeed reign supreme. Or maybe not. The only thing that's certain is that we're in for a wild ride in the 2023 F1 season. When asked about what Formula 1 could learn from NASCAR, Button had an intriguing response. He suggested that implementing stage points could be a fascinating option. Despite praising F1's openness to change, he acknowledged that not everyone is thrilled about changes being made to a sport that has been around for a long time. Nevertheless, he thinks that the introduction of sprint races has worked well and brought about an exciting twist to the sport. Button went on to elaborate on the potential benefits of stage points, citing NASCAR as an example. In this system, drivers are awarded points at certain stages during the race, creating additional opportunities for strategic decisions. This could make things very interesting indeed, as pit stops for fresh tires could play a crucial role in determining the final outcome of the race. All in all, Button's ideas could be worth exploring further as F1 continues to evolve and adapt to the ever-changing landscape of motorsport. If you get points at certain points through the race, if it's lap 20, lap 40 and the end of the race, it might change strategies around, who knows? I don't know if it would work. I think F1 is in a great place. I enjoy the racing. The dream in F1 is that the cars are lighter, that's always the dream, because I think as drivers we like lightweight cars, he says, as he's about to race a stock car. But I'm happy with where F1 is, as long as we're ready to tickle things here and there if we think it's necessary, and try and not be afraid. Ferrari's new team boss, Frederic Vasseur, is confident that the team can challenge Red Bull in the upcoming F1 races despite their rivals starting the season in dominant form. Last weekend's opener saw Red Bull's Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez claim a comfortable 1-2 finish, with Ferrari's Carlos Sainz and Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton trailing by almost a minute due to tyre degradation. The loss of Charles Leclerc due to a power unit problem compounded Ferrari's troubles and led to doubts about their ability to compete for the championship. However, Vasseur is optimistic about Ferrari's chances, citing their strong qualifying performance as evidence of their potential. Vasseur is also encouraged by the length of the 2023 F1 season, the longest in history, with 22 more races to come. While acknowledging the need to address their performance and reliability issues, Vasseur is confident that Ferrari has the ability to develop their car and challenge Red Bull in the coming races. After all, he notes, a car that matches another's pace in qualifying should not be unable to do so in the race. It's never good to start with a DNF, and I would have preferred to finish like Red Bull for sure, said Vasseur, who joined Ferrari from midfield runners Alfa Romeo over the winter. But now I want to stay consistent in my position. I told the team before the test in Bahrain 2 weeks ago that the championship won't be over in Bahrain. It doesn't matter the result in any case. It was true for the winter test, and it's true for the first race. All of this chatter is just mere speculation, and it's only a matter of time until we see who emerges victorious. Red Bull appears to be a force to be reckoned with, displaying strength and stability that other teams seem to lack. Ferrari, on the other hand, still has issues from last season, and Mercedes was left behind by Aston Martin, who uses their components but with Red Bull designers. Nevertheless, the season promises to be an enthralling one, full of surprises and unpredictable outcomes. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, so make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date.